Western Australia, South Australia, the Northern Territory will all effectively shut borders from tomorrow afternoon. Let's go live now to Matt Cunningham. He's in Darwin. Matt, these closures, they've been announced, but how will they be enforced?
Well, that's going to be the difficult task, Laura. There will be police roadblocks set up on the borders in the Northern Territory, in Western Australia and in South Australia. There will be 12 roadblocks in South Australia. That will be the most difficult border to police. In WA, there will be roadblocks in both the north and the south of the state, and here in the Northern Territory there will be a roadblock set up by police at the three main highways to enter to the Northern Territory. Now, in each of these three jurisdictions, anyone coming in, whether it be by road or by sea or by air, will be required to agree to self-isolate for 14 days before they are allowed into that particular state or territory. You saw the Chief Minister of the Northern Territory, Michael Gunner, announce the lockdown of the Northern Territory's borders on Saturday. The South Australian Premier followed suit yesterday, as did the Western Australian Premier, Mark McGowan. Some quite drastic measures being taken in Western Australia. Rottnest Island will actually be set up as a place of quarantine. Western Australia is also looking to use hotels for isolation purposes. Here's a bit of what the Premier, Mark McGowan, had to say late yesterday.
It's to ensure that those people who can't quarantine or won't quarantine, we can put them somewhere where they can get proper attention and proper support in which they are properly isolated. So, being worked up as we speak, it may well be that we need to look to barracks like Lewin Barracks or seek the Commonwealth support with some military facilities for these purposes, and we're also looking at hotels. But I am not ruling anything out now. This thing happens so quickly, and the situation evolves so rapidly. I'm not ruling anything out.
One of the biggest concerns, both in remote parts of Western Australia, Laura, and here in the Northern Territory, are those people living in remote communities, people who are particularly vulnerable. Now, we heard last Friday the Prime Minister announced that no one will be allowed to either enter or leave those remote communities. If they do that, they would also have to self-isolate for 14 days before they were allowed to return.